Directed by Alexandre Aja, Piranha, 2010, is a blood-soaked remake of the 1978 cult classic, delivering an unapologetically over-the-top blend of horror, gore, and dark comedy. Set during spring break at Lake Victoria, the film revolves around prehistoric piranhas, unleashed by an underwater earthquake, terrorizing thousands of unsuspecting partygoers. With its focus on gruesome kills, campy humor, and absurd spectacle, Piranha, 2010, is less about serious scares and more about sheer entertainment for fans of B-horror cinema. The horror in Piranha, 2010, is unapologetically graphic and visceral, leaning heavily on shock value. Alexandre Aja, known for his work on the Hills Have Eyes remake, brings his signature flair for brutal, gory set pieces. From dismembered limbs to grotesque underwater feeding frenzies, the film doesn't shy away from showing the carnage in excruciating detail. The tension builds during the quieter, underwater sequences as the audience anticipates the piranha's next attack. However, the film prioritizes gory spectacle over genuine suspense or atmospheric scares, making it more of a horror comedy than a truly terrifying experience. The film gives a brief but effective explanation of the piranha's origins. An underwater earthquake opens a fissure to a prehistoric lake, releasing a school of previously extinct piranhas. These ancient creatures, which have evolved to become hyper-aggressive predators, are said to have survived in isolation for millions of years. While the backstory is thin and primarily serves as an excuse for the mayhem, the film doesn't dwell on unnecessary exposition, letting the action take center stage. The performances in Piranha, 2010, are knowingly campy, fitting the film's over-the-top tone. Elizabeth Shue anchors the cast as Sheriff Julie Forrester, delivering a competent performance as a mother trying to protect her children and the town. Stephen R. McQueen, grandson of Steve McQueen, plays Jake, the sheriff's son, who becomes entangled in the chaos while trying to impress a girl, and while his performance is adequate, it's not particularly memorable. Ving Rhames, as the badass deputy Fallon, adds some gravitas to the chaos, while Jerry O'Connell steals the show as the sleazy and obnoxious adult filmmaker Derek, whose ridiculous antics provide some of the film's most outrageous moments. Christopher Lloyd also makes a brief but entertaining appearance as a scientist who explains the prehistoric piranha's origins in his signature eccentric style. The cast clearly understands the campy tone, embracing the absurdity of the material and leaning into it. As a remake of Joe Dante's 1978 Piranha, the 2010 version takes the basic premise of killer fish and amplifies everything to extreme levels. While the original had a more satirical edge and focused on subtle scares, the remake leans heavily into exploitation, gore, and nudity, making it a far more exaggerated and sensationalized experience. Aja's version is less concerned with character development or nuanced storytelling and more focused on delivering outrageous set pieces and dark humor. Fans of the original might find this remake lacks the charm and wit of Dante's film, but it makes up for it with modern special effects and sheer audacity. Piranha, 2010, is a film that doesn't take itself seriously, and neither should its audience. It's a campy, self-aware thrill ride designed to entertain fans of gory horror and absurd comedy. While it lacks the subtlety and satirical commentary of its predecessor, it fully embraces its B-movie roots and delivers a blood-soaked spectacle that will appeal to viewers looking for mindless fun. However, its excessive violence, gratuitous nudity, and over-the-top tone may alienate those expecting a more traditional horror experience. Ultimately, Piranha, 2010, is a chaotic, campy, and wildly entertaining creature feature that knows exactly what it wants to be. A trashy, guilty pleasure horror film. It's not for everyone, but fans of gory, tongue-in-cheek horror will have a blast.